Hello everyone and welcome back to Tuscany. I think we found the sheep. So if I can click him and get him to come somewhere. Not quite sure how much this is going to work, but I knew he couldn't be too far because I could hear him. But so we found the sheep, so let's see if we can... We'll go down the hillside and see if he pops out of the landscape. So that was one that we said that I'd do, perhaps off screen, but we'll... There he is! There's our sheepy pee-pee! We only want to sell you, I know. We have a sheep that we can go and sell now. So let's get the door open to our whatchamaflip. We'll actually get the tractor. That's what a sheep looks like, folks! When it appears out of the hill. That's the word. So there's been a number of comments following the last episode, so I'm very grateful for all of those. Thank you very much. Address the easy ones first of all. Well, I think the easy ones. The first easy one is, can I buy a tedder? Well, the game doesn't appear to have a tedder in it. It only has the Vicon rake. So I don't think I can actually buy a tedder for that hay. But someone else made a very interesting suggestion of, why don't you just cut a swath and just leave it? So are we going to do that? Well, yep, we are. So I think we're going to forego, perhaps for this episode, we're going to forego the doofering of the and if that doesn't make any sense, then I can understand probably why. We're going to forego taking any logs away because we don't need to. We're going to go and sell this sheep now that we found him, because that's money in the bank. And that's the primary reason that we were going to find him, was to sell him. Ding, 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 ding. And another comment was, can I mute the animals? Well, I haven't muted them because that's a bit unrealistic, but what I have done is I have put their sound effects down and the general sound effects down, so hopefully it's not quite so annoying. Follow me in. Oh, goodness me. I don't know what happened there. Well, actually I do, but I went through the roof. There we go. So then, Mr. Sheep, it's time for you to go, and we're going to take you on a little ride. Good old Farmer Giles. So, I did say that I suspected that that he'd be underground. It's almost like we're in first person, not quite. We don't have an in-cab view that I remember on this one. I'll need to remember the key from Agricultural Simulator 2012 or 2011 even. Whichever one it was that I was playing previously. But yeah, so here we come into Macarona again. Those sacks are still a mess. I did have a look when I was looking for the sheep to see if there was any way to manipulate the save game to try and locate where he was and normalise a coordinate for him, but I couldn't see that. The game save files are completely unintelligible to me because I don't speak computer. So yeah, so that's pretty much how that went. But as you can see, it's alright because we found him anyway. So I'd say we'd name him, except that's not gonna be useful to us, considering we're gonna sell him on to these fine people here. So, let's just open that up. Come on, sheepy. So we got 959 coin at the moment. There you are. You're now no longer ours. And we've got 978. Thank you very much. So, the search for the sheep is over. We found the sheep. We've sold the sheep. So, I consider that already a very successful time. So let's go and have a look at what we can do next. Can we cut a swath of grass and just leave it alone and not touch it, not rake it, and just see if it turns to hay? Yes, we can. Can we get some more cows? Yes, we can, but we're not going to buy them. That's why we have the cows in the shed, or the cow in the shed with the bull, because that means that they will breed. And so probably in about the same time frame as our fields over there getting fully grown and being harvested, we'll start to see a new cow appear in the shed, and that will be the offspring of the two that are in there right now. So we don't have a lot of slots in there, so buying more cows doesn't seem to be currently something that's going to make a lot of difference, and it's just going to cost us money. Yes, it will give us a little bit more in terms of milk, but that income is minimal in comparison to what we're going to get from selling the cows themselves. So we'll probably won't sell the first cow, but we will probably sell the ones after that, because once we've got 2 cows in there with the bull, we should be getting 2 at a time, so we can sell those hopefully for a reasonable amount of money. And obviously we've got the pigs in here as well, so assuming they're Mr. and Mrs, they're in separate bedrooms, but I'm hoping that they're still getting on for a bit of extracurricular activity. And I've discovered something else. I did discover something else. No, it doesn't work on this one. Just a few moments ago, I discovered that this door opens. I've never been through that door. And just using the X key like you do for all the other doors, that door opens. Which quite surprised me, actually. Because basically it was I found it open, and I thought, what's going on? So I've just discovered that, so I'm sure you can all kind of consider me very special. So that one doesn't open, because that goes out to the manure pit. So, does this one open? It does! Wow! We're discovering things now, aren't we? Goodness me. What about this one? What about this one? Yeah! Excellent. Are we discovering potentially new stuff? No, that doesn't open. And I'm fairly sure the one up here won't open, because I'm fairly sure we tried that. Can't get into Farmer Giles' house. No, he's locked the door. He's a sneaky devil, that Farmer Giles, I tell you. He's got all kinds of nuclear secrets up in there, I'm sure. And of course the dog, we never actually had a thing to push the dog, did we? So, oh no, we can't go up the ladder. It's worth a try, I suppose. So the dog is, again, you can hear him, but you can't actually. He didn't ever have a label so that you could do anything with him, because you can't. It's not like you can sell him or anything like that. So, which is a shame, because otherwise we might be able to kind of bring him out of his underground adventure. So, but there we go. So let us get the mower attached. day it is. Oh, it's only 8 o'clock. Plenty of time to do stuff. So... go on, Farmer Giles. Around the corner, around the corner. Deep, 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 deep. Oh, goodness me. I can do this so much better from the... looking at it in the correct angle. Yes, woof, 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 woof. Just wish you'd show yourself, Duke. I can hear you running. Okay, so we've got our mower. Okay, where should we cut? Let's go and cut the other side of our drag from the logs. Actually, no, we don't need to do that because the drag from the logs is over there, so we cut this side. So where we did our last one, so let's cut a swath down here. Hydraulics, open. Oh, I need to connect the PTO. That would probably be useful. So there you go. You're not the only one that forgets to connect the PTO. I've been watching that in your Farming Simulator 2013 Let's Play. So yeah, we can both do that. So, but I think we can hold our heads high, and that we're not as derpy as Sean from the Feed the Beast comment server. So there we go. Let's go and cut this swath of grass, and this one we're going to do nothing with. We're just simply going to leave it be and see what happens, and hope that it turns to hay over the course of however long it takes. So that is that's the plan for this. So someone also mentioned about can you cultivate the ridges. Now ridges that we make, yes, I think you can. I'm not sure if you can cultivate the other ridges. And when I'm talking about that, I will drive over here and show you before we go too far. So there's a ridge here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. There is a ridge just there, just in front of the wheels there now. And that's not quite so pronounced, but there are some that become more and more pronounced, as we can see down here. And as you can see, that runs along the grass line as well, but it's just more noticeable when you've kind of got it to be dirt. And I don't think that we can actually cultivate that, but I will get the cultivator and we'll give it a go. Largely because I'm curious. So my gut instinct is cultivating it doesn't make any difference, because I have tried on one of my other save games before I started the Let's Play. But let's figure it out. Let's do what we can to kind of understand the game as best we can. And yeah, let's take it from there. So doink, and where's the other one? Ah, there it is. Doink. So lift it up after I've put it down and then drop it. Honesty, Farmer Giles. Okay, where did we put the cultivator? There it is. Don't go through that door. That door's not big enough for a tractor. I know, you just walk through it. Might be helpful if I line the tractor up the correct way to get the thing. Do you think? Maybe. I think it's just semantics, really. So. Excellent. Okay. And there we go. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Right, so let's have cultivator. Let us travel. So let's go back out to our ridge. Oh look, there's a half a deer. Oh dear. Right, so here is our ridge. This is not one that we've caused by plowing. This is just one that exists naturally in the game. I think my gut instinct is it's probably the way that the map is split up into different grids, because you get them and they cross at right angles, so there's ridges that go in that direction, there are also ridges that go in that direction. We're just seeing part of one at the moment, so let us see if we can make it pretty. Okay, so that made absolutely no difference to it whatsoever. So those kind of ridges, like I say, I'm not sure we can do anything about. It was a nice idea, and for the stuff where we've kind of got the ground not smooth in other areas, I think it does make a difference using the cultivator. And in these particular ones, that's just the best you get. So, pressing the wrong button to stop the tractor. So, can we cultivate that ridge? Unfortunately, no. And from my other save game, it's the same when you do the ploughing. That ridge just remains. It seems to be the differential between two different sections of a grid of the map. Hence why you probably see there's another. There you go. There's the ridge going that way. Look, by the looks of it. Is that just? No, that's one of my tyre tracks. But you can see another one going horizontally there. So yeah. Quite what we can do about those, I'm not sure. And I think that's a fair answer for now. It's perfectly acceptable for us not to know, and it happens. Okay, so our 3 little fields are doing pretty well there. And the other thing you guys have asked me to do is to plough more fields. Yes, so can we plough more fields? Yes, we absolutely can. We absolutely can. Not with a cultivator we can't, but with a plough, yes, we can plough some more fields. Whilst we kind of do the normal stuff and advance a day. So we haven't actually advanced a day this episode. So I'm going to try and get rid of this. cultivator. I'm going to try and mark out what I'm going to not do stuff off screen. So even though it's going to be the ploughing, I'm not going to do it off screen. I might mark up the area of the field that we want and try and figure out if we can make that within a set of ridges so that we don't have to kind of cater for the fact that those ridges are not anything that we can get rid of, if you know what I mean. Okay. Come on. Okay. Slight bit of concentration there. That's because for some reason my left and right, when I flip the view around, my inverting of left and right is a particular challenge. Don't ask me why. I don't understand it myself. All I can quote is the comments that everyone has said about kind of when they put special goggles on, like NASA astronauts and stuff like that, and they see the world upside down. And I think it's after a month or so your brain starts to react. So I need to be looking at the system in this way for a month, and then my brain will start to adapt, and I'll be able to drive backwards without any problems. By which point I probably won't be able to drive forwards. So let's count the blessings that we've got, in that I seem to make it happen. Right, so we've got our fields that are down here. We've got a big swath of stuff where we've dragged logs, and I want to try and find something that's a little bit flat-ish, if at all possible. Yeah, I know, flat-ish is somewhat hoping. So I'm just looking to see if I can see the ridges. Okay, these all seem to be ridges made by my tractor. So I'm thinking we've got these little trees here. Is that a ridge there, or is that just another tractor marks, isn't it? So I'm thinking possibly about here somewhere. So we'll go for get these trees lined up behind me. At least so they're lined up, and I'm running perpendicular to them a little bit. Okay, so let's see if we can... Yeah, because you can see there's a ridge, I think, right there. So let's see what we can do. So let's go for it. Chug, chug, chug. So we want to have a nice... I think this one's going to be a nice big field. We're only going to sow perhaps one crop in this. But let's see if we can get an outline established for it. So it's going to be kind of rolling hill kind of deal. And we can maybe do another one down over there. So I think that'll do. Get at a right angle to it. That looks about right. yeah, we've not necessarily centered ourselves around the farm, but hopefully we've centered ourselves around those trees. So let's go and see where we end up. See if we come across any ridges. I think we should be going towards that, assuming we're carving a straight line. We seem to be. Heading towards that side of the... So we're going to get too close, so we're going to end it out there. So I don't want to... So yeah, I think that'll make a fair size field. So what we're now going to do, if we can get over our own ploughed ridge, I don't know what was happening there. Perhaps I was pressing both buttons for stop, for reverse and forwards at the same time. That will be interesting. Ourselves at a 90-degree angle again. About there seems to be about right. Chop that down. So now we're going to be possibly in a little bit of kind of trial and error to know how far to go. Until we we seem to be on a straight line again, so I'm going to stop about there for now. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to then go over here. And we're going to do the whole right angle thing, and we're going to bring it out, and we're going to have the two meet, hopefully, to make a nice... I know it's a square field, and that's probably just because that's easy enough for us to manage at the moment. If people want round fields, then let me know, and the next one we do will be a round field. But for now, we're doing what we can do. I think that was 90 degrees. Let's chop that down. Let's go. Okay, so we're looking about right, I think. So we may not know if we've got any of those pesky ridges, but we'll soon find out. Sorry, I had to mute the microphone there because I needed a bit of a cough. So I've got a tickly throat for some reason, but I'm actually alright, so there we go. So that worked out about right. We've got a little bit just to do. If I press up instead of J, then I'll actually probably avoid the mistake I was making before. So what I should just need to do is that. And then, yeah. So that is our field. So, don't know what we're going to sow in it just yet. It won't be sunflowers because buying the seeds is going to be expensive. But it could be one of the other, well, it will be one of the other crops, obviously. So if we've ruled out sunflowers because they're way too overpriced and we haven't got the seed, let's go and have a look at what seed we have got. And I have no idea how to estimate how much seed it's going to take to cover that area. But we'll soon find out. I would imagine it's probably going to take probably a good 100 seeds to do one run on that, and that's going to take, yeah, it's going to take a fair amount. So, but what we could always do is potentially, if we haven't got enough seed, just sow it as much as we possibly can, and yeah, then take it from there. So another door I'm sure doesn't open. Don't need any of those at the moment. Right, so we've got a little bit of corn, and corn is not very expensive. We've got more wheat, and wheat is a more profitable crop by the looks of it. So I think, unless there's significant votes to the contrary, that although corn is the crop that we're going to use the most for the animals, we've got that growing on one of our fields down there, and we should get a reasonable yield out of that, I would have thought. So I'm thinking that we'll put wheat as a money crop on the big field. So you kind of have a choice there. We can either go for corn for feeding animals, but I'm quite happy to do maybe another smaller field, or we'll convert one of these other fields over. We'll convert the wheat field over here, so we'll have maybe extend two of those fields into one, and that'll be our corn growing field, so that we've got the resources for the animals. Outside of that, yeah, I'm thinking wheat. So let me know what you think in the comments. Pretty much. You may have seen that I did do a trailer, so for anyone that hasn't subscribed to the channel, there's now a trailer, and you've kind of got little clips of me kind of tearing through the games and doing all sorts of different things. So we're going to leave the plough over here. We are going to detach it, otherwise we'll be in trouble. But I think we're going to finish in about the middle of our new field. And so next episode, obviously, you can probably tell what we're mostly going to be doing. You're mostly going to be listening to me yakking on, whilst Farmer Giles does all the hard work of getting this field ploughed. So, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to then obviously have to cultivate. So, like I say, hopefully this is what you guys are wanting to see. I know there's quite a lot of you that don't want to see stuff off screen, so I'm going to avoid that. But that does mean that I'll be talking, and some of the stuff might get boring. And yeah, it's called life. So if you don't enjoy it, then I will warn you. But when, like next episode, we've got something that's going to be quite repetitive and quite a lot of the same, and you feel free to skip ahead. You don't have to watch every single episode. I feel that I have to watch every episode when I'm watching Dare and Stocko and all the other channels that I'm watching, because if I haven't got the full set, then I feel like I've kind of cheated my way through. But that doesn't mean that works the way for you guys. So I think until next time, folks, take care.